The ribbons round your garden gay, the sum in colors bright and gay, of every lover that you wanted yet still sent away. And every moment brings a revolution to your waking mind. It's sunny, then it rains again, you see, and then you're blind.
Okay, this is my charcoal mill, or kind of a drawing of it. Anyway, you can see the roller going down through the middle of that little box. That's a 2x box, probably 2x8 and 2x6. And then there's a handle going through, and that's the cement roller. There's a chute, simply a 1x board, and you put the charcoal in the chute, and you grind it through. Comes out the bottom smaller, hopefully. So I hope you can see that. That's the introduction to what I'm going to show in making this. All right, I'm making a jig to grind charcoal, and what I have done is I have a picket, a used picket, cedar picket, and I have taken this gizmo here, which I don't know the name of, but it drills a hole, and you can see the hole that it makes right here. Wobbles a lot, a little scary to use in a drill press. Fortunately, I have a drill press. And then in order to make the other hole, the hole for the rod to go through, I used this hole saw. It's a 5/8 inch hole saw, and here is my 5/8 inch rod that I'm going to use for the shaft down the middle of the concrete tube. Now I'm going to put a piece of tubing in here coming up the rod, and then I'm going to pour cement down in the tube, and I'll try to show all that as I do. Okay, here's the tube I'm using. It's drain tubing, I believe. It's thin wall and about 4 inches in diameter, inside diameter. And there is a miter saw, and I'm using that to get a good square edge on it. And you can see I'm partly cut through it. I'm moving around so you can see the whole works in my cluttered basement. Okay. So here is my jig for my concrete form. And you can see the threaded rod, the 5/8 inch threaded rod running through the tubing, the 4 inch inside diameter tube. And you can see the blanks over there on the other side. I didn't do those exactly right. I'm leaving the rod stick out 5.5 inches on both sides, and that will allow me to put a handle on both sides so that I can turn it one way, and then I can turn it the other way by unscrewing the handle. So now I'm going to measure from the edge here over here to the edge here. That's the inside edge of the form, and the concrete tube, the concrete thing that I'm going to make, cylinder, is going to be from that line to that line. So when I cut my rubber to go in there, I will have to use that dimension to make it fit. So you'll see later. So here's the rubber mat that I'm going to cut. And you can see the ridges in it. You buy it at a hardware store. Okay, I'm trying to hold this tube in a way that you can see the grooves of that rubber mat down inside. I cut it right to shape, to the circumference of the inside of that circle, and I did a formula, the pi d. 3.1416 by the diameter, which was 4, and it made a really tight fit. I had to smudge it in there, but the rubber is flexible and should be a good tight fit. Here you can see the threaded rod that I've got. I've drilled 3 holes in it and stuck nails through it. And that, I hope, will keep the cylinder, the concrete cylinder, from spinning on the shaft of the threaded rod. Well, I'm ready to pour, and I'm excited. Down here in the basement, and I mixed my concrete. I put a mixture of concrete mix and sand mix together. My reasoning was that the sand would have more quartz, hard stuff that would go down into the grooves in my mat that I put inside as a liner for my form. Then over here I mixed my cement in a 5-gallon bucket that I cleaned out real good. Not that it needed all of that. And I also put less water in, or I actually had to add more material. I put the manufacturer's recommended amount, and I thought it was too sloshy. The harder the concrete, the less water you can get away with, within reason, the better, the harder the concrete. So I'm all ready, and here's my rig all set up. I've got a bucket here, or a concrete mixing trough, and I've got shims down below to hold the form up in the air 5.5 inches, which is putting that 2-foot rod equidistant to 5.5 inches away, so I can put a handle on either side if I want and turn it one way or the other, depending on which is more advantageous to me. So that's it. Okay, so you can see I got it pretty full. Now what I did is I put this paint thing and I ran it up and down all around, and I'm just trying to demonstrate for people who haven't done concrete before. That gets the spaces out of it and gets it up next to your form, which I really want in this case because I've got a textured form that I want to be available. So I'm just about ready to put my lid on. I'm going to wipe all that cement off the threads, and the cement juice is leaking out. I don't know what else to call it. The moisture is leaking out the bottom and going down the threads, so I'm going to try to wipe those off somehow. That's it. I used a wire brush to clean out the threads, and then a rag. So it's been setting up for about 20 hours, I guess. And this is the top form. Came off the top there. I unscrewed it a little bit to try to work out some of the concrete that's into the threads. And this is what it looks like at this point. Okay, here I am doing the curing process. As you can see, that's water that's soaking, well, that the cylinder is soaking in. Still has the plastic on it. Supposed to, for maximum hardness, 28 days is how long I should let it soak in the water. Somehow I'm going to have to try to get that plastic piece off. I'd like to just score it a number of times, try and figure out how to get a straight line on it. And then peel it, or kind of pop it open, and then I can use that form again. But we'll see how that works. It'll be a little tricky. So I figured out a way to clamp, it's a wood clamp, it's called a tool guide, and I clamped it right on the end here. And then I'm using the utility knife to cut through. It looks like it's working pretty well. I got a nice straight cut on it. I don't know whether you can, probably can't see that. Well, I was able to split the pipe with the utility knife, and now I'm taking the rubber off. Unfortunately, I didn't know where the split was, so I cut it again. Still intact a little bit. You can see the striations on the cylinder, I hope. Yes, I think you can. At least I can see it in the viewfinder. Now I'm just going to let that soak because those things are probably pretty sensitive right now. So we'll see what happens. Okay, there's the cylinder of concrete soaking in this bath of water. It's been underwater since the 18th, and this is now the 26th of December, and I'm going to leave it probably till the first of the year. Soaking concrete underwater is the way to get it the hardest, and 28 days gets it close to its maximum, and then over time, years it takes to harden more. However, I'm probably going to cheat. After New Year's, I'm going to get in here because I'm too excited, and I'm also putting this video up before it's done, so you'll have to tune in again.